January, our ladies had a Go Club retreat, and they had a blast. They're still talking about that. And in February, are doing this winter wall hanging with the Cardinals. So that's coming up this Saturday, right after all the ice. But in March, we're making this really cute apron. And this one I made with the fork, knife, and spoon dye and embroidery leather. And I used the free pattern from AccuQuilt, the buttonhole pattern, to stitch down those things. It was one hooping. I just put the shapes in. It gives me an outline. I place it down. Then it stitches around it. Super easy. This is the tumbler die, the 6-inch tumbler die, and so that's what we're making in March. Now I wanted to make a couple variations on the pattern. I've always wanted a sewing apron. I think they're so cute when ladies come in with one. So I've cut the lining, but I'm going to cut the top now so you can see how it's done. It's a really quick and easy project. So I'm cutting it 24 inches, and because I want it to be in the center of the table, I'm cutting from 20 to 24. 44, sorry. Gotta add. Trimming off. Ladies, if you're just a beginner or not just a beginner, you will really help yourself out if you teach yourself to sew left and right-handed. We're working on both sides of the brain that way, but also you don't have to shift your stuff around as much. So that makes life easier. You always want to make sure your fabric is nicely pressed. I use the best press, and I'm not happy with that cut, so I'm going to redo it. Okay. So that I'll save for another project. So now that I've got it 24 inches this way, I need to put in this angle and cut it. I mean, I don't need it quite that wide. So I'm going to cut it at 11 inches. And I think we can still get this ruler from Checkers. This is a 20.5-inch square ruler. I really love this ruler. I never thought I would use it as much as I do, but I use it a lot. So I'm going to check my measurements. This is the pattern. It's called Go Let's Eat Apron. And I'm going to double check. It's always good to double check yourself. Yes, it's 11 inches this way. So I'm going to set my ruler at 11. That's a nice piece. You could cut out a big tumbler pocket for another apron from that, or make a cute little bag to carry sewing stuff in. Okay, so then I need to make my angle. And my angle is going to go from 5 inches here. Use my handy friction pen. Make a little mark. And then I want it 15 inches here. So 15. I'm going to go from between those two marks. die. This is a great one. The tumbler shape is a great one for using up scraps. So there's one that's like 3.5 inches, and it comes 3 on a 6x12 die shape. That one's perfect. This one is also really nice. It's 4.5 inches, and you can use charm squares on this. So that's a quick use of cutting up some fabric. So I have some fabric here that I'm going to cut some tumblers out of. You want to pay attention, if you can, to the straight of the grain. So the straight of grain is that way, straight of grain of my fabric is this way. So I'm going to cut my die like this. And I've got 4 layers. 4 layers, not a problem. I could fan fold another layer. Why don't I do that? Fan fold another layer. I just need to check underneath and make sure I've covered that shape. And the die is, I think the cut is 4.5 inches. So I need to make my strip 5 inches wide. Just a little bit extra on each side. So, and it doesn't matter that there's a little extra here, because it's just going to go through the cutter just fine. Just tuck that in. Grab it. Rub to get the static off, which is really bad right now. And now I have 6 perfectly cut tumblers. In a minute, I'm going to show you sewing them together, because it's really easy with these dog ears cut off. And then I've got scraps to use for something else. Okay, so I think we're ready. Oh, the only other thing you'll need to cut are your strips. So you cut 2 3-inch width of fabric strips. Then it says to cut them into 4 24-inch pieces, 22-inch pieces. I just cut the selvages off and cut them in half. They were almost 22, but not quite there. It doesn't matter. It will come out fine. So I'm going to sew up this one, and I'm going to sew some tumblers together. So let's go to the sewing machine. Okay, so now we're at the sewing machine, and I'm ready to sew 2 tumbler blocks together. Now, because AccuCode has cut those dog ears off, it's really going to make it easy, because normally one would be coming out this way and one would be going up that way, and I'd have to try and figure out how far over they need to be overlapped to get my 1/4 inch. But now everything is lined up perfectly. I'm going to come to the sewing machine, and I'm using my 1/4 inch foot, my guideline beam, and my 2.0 stitch length. Back a little bit more. All right. See, it did that nice little reinforcement stitch for me.
And then here's your screwdriver.
Get to the end.
Change your needle.
And look how perfectly those came together. Now, normally you would press seams to one side or the other, but in this case you would probably press your seams open. So I took a few of the tumblers and sewed them together to make a pocket strip for me for my sewing apron, because I want to be able to put little notions and tools in the little sections of the pocket, and I'll probably just stitch down different little colors in there. Okay. Okay, so we took our 3-inch strip and sewed it together, and took our tube turner and turned it inside out. That was so quick, it just whoosh, right out. Great time saver. So now I am top stitching, and I'm using the inside edge of my little foot. See this little bar on your 1/4 inch foot? It is actually an 1/8 of an inch marking, which is perfect for top stitching. So I've moved my guideline beam and I'm just top stitching down this guy, lickety split. So, love that reinforcement stitch, cutting, lifting up the foot for me. So I've got all my straps made, my pocket, the front, and the lining. Let's go put this apron together. Okay, so I've got all my parts. So I'm going to show you how I pin and place everything and get ready to sew it together. So I come in a 1/2 inch on each top edge of the apron to place the strap, and you want it, I think it's 1 inch above. So got that one. Oops. Make sure you put those finished edges on the other end. 1/2 inch inside the angled edge, and then the same ones for the side. 1/2 inch down and 1 inch out. And then my pocket, I think I want it about 4 inches up. So that's about right. I'll make sure it's in the center. And I would top stitch that in place first. Then I just take my lining, put everything right sides together, stitch around the whole thing with a 3/8 inch seam, leaving an opening at the bottom, about a 6 inch opening, and you'll turn it all inside out and press it and top stitch it, and then you'll have an apron. So come to the Go Club and you'll see the finished apron. You're also going to see a completely different version that's going to be super cute. Go Club meets every month. We have 2 days that we offer it. Wednesday, the second Wednesday of the month, and the third Saturday. So you have 2 opportunities to come to accommodate people's schedules. And you don't need to have a cutter. You don't need to have the dies. Every die that we're using to make the sample, which would be this month, would be the strip die and the fork, knife, and spoon. That's all available for you to use at the club. There'll be time in the club, or you can come another time during the month to cut out your project. So, and then it's just really fun seeing what other people create. People show off all different kinds of things that they've made with their go cutters and dies and stuff, and just it's really inspiring to see all the creativity that our customers have. So come join us. It's a lot of fun. Bye.